Great job of just keeping locked in. You know, everyone's starting to play kind of inspired football. Everyone's believing in each other.
Wentz looking, he gets out of harm's way, he's pumping, he is floating it, and it's complete to Huff at the 50, the 45, he's on his feet at the 30, the 20, cuts back at the 10, the 5, he is in, Darren Sproles!
Well, we view every week as a measuring stick, you know, where we're always trying to just get better and go 1-0 every week.
All right, let's take a look at the NFC East. The Eagles are the only team in the division that remains unbeaten, crushing the Steelers in convincing fashion. The Giants, now 2-1, lost a close one to the 1-2 Redskins. Max is still crying. In the late game yesterday, the Cowboys dominating the Bears, improving to 2-1 under the rookie Dak Prescott. So we asked you guys earlier in the show to vote on Twitter. Will the Eagles win the NFC East? And 53% say yes. Fly, Eagles, fly. How about it, Ryan Clark? They beat up on your Steelers yesterday. Good morning.
See, I try to come on this show. You know, Stephen A. shakes my hand. Max gives me a pound, and you just come on taking shots as soon as it starts.
I gave you love about the blitz last night. Stop lying.
Goodness gracious.
That was just to butter him up. So we lowered his defenses, Molly.
Please, tell the full story. Will the Eagles win the NFC East under Carson Wentz?
I believe they will. Listen, if you look at this team, and it's not necessarily about what Carson Wentz is doing, it's about the way the Philadelphia Eagles are constructing a game plan. You look at this team throughout the last few years with Chip Kelly, this defense was awful. Why was it awful? Because Chip Kelly wanted to go up-tempo. There were so many 3-and-outs. You're playing 80 to 90 plays a game. Now, this Jim Schwartz defense gets to come at teams behind this offense because they control possession. Doug Peterson's finding ways to get the ball down the field. And you've seen this team progress week to week with Carson Wentz at quarterback. And this is how they've done it. You look at week 1 against Cleveland. Now, everybody beats Cleveland. I get it. I'm not saying this is a barometer of how good that team is.
Miami shouldn't have yesterday, but that's a different story.
But they did, because everybody does.
Because your damn field goal kicker doesn't.
He plays football. He gets pads and he gets a helmet. He gets pads and he gets a helmet.
Do kickers play football?
Yeah,
they shouldn't. I'm not sure they should.
They play soccer or something, yeah.
But they get paid, though. So you look at what they were doing the first week, Carson Wentz. It was one read, getting the ball downfield, finding the man-to-man matchup. Then you go into the Chicago game. Now you have trick plays, misdirection, throwing back screens, throwing screens in the red zone on the goal line, which is something you rarely see, but you begin to trust this guy. And now you go against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who through the first 2 weeks, thought had done a better job of playing defense. It's more bend but don't break. It's not Blitzburg, but it's a team that had found ways to keep people out of the end zone. And Carson Wentz tears them up. He's finding the spots in the zone. He's moving the pocket. He's pushing the ball downfield. And then defensively, because you're rested, because you have an opportunity to get on the sideline and make adjustments, you come out and you stop Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we know had been tearing it up offensively. And so now when I look at this team and the rest of the division, Max, you were starting to win me over. For 2 weeks, your statistics, your New York Giants, I was ready to come on. They didn't let me talk last week, and thank goodness they didn't, because I was going to apologize to you because you had statted me to death. You Ivy Leagued me into believing you were right. I started to believe in Eli, but I didn't see the one stat you like to leave out.
What, the Andrew Adams was going to blow the game for the Giants?
The one stat you leave out. It's, oh, look at these comebacks. Eli does this. He has so many comebacks. He also leads the league in interceptions in the fourth quarter, like I said, because I don't trust him, since he's been in the league. And once again, that was the Giants'
He's a gunslinger.
undoing.
Well, he's a gunslinger. He's not afraid to make mistakes. That's why he wins Super Bowls, but sometimes he also costs you the game. That's the truth. How much of this, this is a question for a guy who's played the game. How much of what's going on with the Eagles is getting coached up? Because when you look at what Carson Wentz has around him, his head coach is a former quarterback, offensive coordinator, former quarterback, quarterback coach, former quarterback. Is all these former quarterbacks around him. As you mentioned, they go from a hurry up, you know, like they're trying to get as many plays in as possible under Chip Kelly to ball control. And now you look at their defense, their time of possession, their point differential, all these underlying stats all say how good they are, largely with the same personnel. How much of this is like Doug Peterson competing with Mike Zimmer and Bill Belichick for coach of the year?
He's definitely competing for coach of the year, but you hit it on the head. This is a quarterback This is a quarterback-driven league, and this is a team that is run by quarterbacks. Doug Peterson not only played this game, but he played this game in the NFL. So he's seen the same thing that Carson Wentz is seeing now. Was he a star? No, but sometimes those are the best coaches, guys who had to learn, guys who had to get on the field and stay on teams by studying the game. You see what he was able to do with Alex Smith. He's learned under Andy Reid. He has found ways to make Carson Wentz comfortable. And you know more than anybody, Stephen A., when you're confident, no matter what sport it is, you play better. When you start to believe in yourself, when you start to believe that you can do things and you get comfortable on the field, that's when the big plays happen. He's walking on the field knowing that he's the man behind center for the Philadelphia Eagles.
First of all, as an aside, let me say that I'm highly offended that you, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, a champion with the Steelers, will come on this show with a smile on your face, knowing what an atrocious performance they put forth yesterday. It was the most embarrassing performance I've seen.
I can't smile?
You
can't forgive my guys?
Not yet. I mean, do that next week. Do that later on in the week. But to come here immediately, this is the first time in the immediate aftermath of how they skunk up the joint. Looked like a football's version of skunks, for crying out loud. I'm so disgusted with the Steelers right now. I'm ashamed of them. I'm ashamed because it's about heart and guts, too. Well, and they got punked yesterday. It's just the truth. At some point,
you got to be loyal, Stephen A.
I'm not saying who's not loyal. I'm going to be rooting for them next week. All I'm talking about is what they did yesterday. I'm talking about facts. They got punked yesterday.
Good Eagles or bad Steelers?
Hold on, I'm coming
Good Eagles or bad Steelers?
I'm coming here. My point is this. Let's get back to the Eagles. Peterson, Schwartz, defensive coordinator, doing a phenomenal job. Wentz looks like a young stud. At some point in time this week, we're going to debate who should suffer the most, the Browns or the Rams, for passing up on Wentz. We'll touch on that later on in this week. But I'm a guy that thought before Romo got hurt, Cowboys going to win the division. I'm looking at this now and I'm saying, Eagles got this division, but it's by default. See, let's knock this down. We look at the Cowboys yesterday. I don't give a damn what the Cowboys. Let me look this fade right now. I'm still Stephen A. You know, with the Cowboys, talking about the Cowboys, the worst fan base in American history. You delusional bunch of misfits. Y'all make me sick. It just disgusts me that the Cowboy fans have a reason to celebrate today because you beat the Bears, who might be the worst team in football. That's a debate in and of itself sometime later on this week.
Browns or Bears? Those are the Eagles' first 2 wins.
Listen, at least Hugh Jackson got them looking competitive. I mean, we can't even say that about John Fox's Bears right now. So, I mean, so Ezekiel Elliott runs for 140 yards, and Dak Prescott doesn't turn the ball over again, and we want to throw a parade. Stop it. They've got the Bengals, they've got the Packers, they've got the Eagles, they've got the Steelers coming up after next week or so. Four games over the next 5 weeks. Let's see what Dak Prescott does in those games, even though I like the kid and I'm rooting for him. Then we got the Redskins, who are allergic to prosperity, as I've said. Yesterday, their backs were against the wall. A lot of people assumed they were going to lose, so they step up. The second you have confidence in the Redskins, what do? They let you down. And then there's the Giants. We've got Eli Manning. Fourth quarter interceptions. We've got a defense, bend but doesn't break. Olivia Purnell, JPP, and those boys didn't necessarily step up and apply the pressure to Kirk Cousins that you would have liked to have seen them do. So once again, we have these same similar kind of questions about the New York Giants, who, by the way, have missed the playoffs in like 5 of the last 6 years. So I look at the NFC East and I say, excuse me, because Doug Peterson and Jim Schwartz are a welcomed reprieve from the Chip Kelly era, combined with the fact that their defense, same personnel pretty much, are absolutely, I mean, they are in heaven because they are getting a break, they're getting some level of support, et cetera, et cetera.
You're playing a 4-3.
And you're playing a 4-3, and you've got a quarterback who seems poised, big, mobile enough, strong arm, can see over the line of scrimmage, not the miniature Michael Vick, not the weak, sorry Nick Foles or anybody else. I mean, no. This is Carson Wentz here, who's proven he can play. Jordan Matthews is no scrub. Darren Sproles has proven himself over the years. Ryan Matthews is a veteran. Your offensive line, I mean, we'll see how they do once they lose Lane Johnson, but their offensive line is formidable. The pieces around them appear to be more constructive, more beneficial, compared to the rest
So
of the
it's
NFC
good
East.
Eagles, like I said a segment ago.
No.
Thank
It
you.
was
I
bad.
win.
It's bad Steelers. It was bad Steelers.
No, you just said you
No,
just talked for 5 straight minutes about good Eagles.
Didn't I start off talking about Steelers?
For about
did.
a minute.
I did that. I know
For
you
about
didn't
a
hear.
minute.
I know.
I really felt
you
like you
can
just
see
were coming at
everything.
me, but-
Whether you can hear is a different
about a
story.
minute.
I said
4 of those
I
minutes
said
on
I
how
was
good the
talking about
Eagles are.
Steelers. The Eagles, by default, should win the NFC East.
Good Eagles
So-
or bad Steelers?
It was great Eagles.
There you go.
It was great.
Really?
So my question
That's
for
it.
you,
You
Max.
asking a former Steeler that question, really?
Hey, no doubt.
Yeah.
My question for you, Max, when you look at the New York Giants, because I do think that is the team that will compete with the Eagles to win the NFC East. And we talked early on in the season, and I was like, hey, it's the same old Giants. They just found a way that night against the Dallas Cowboys to win.
Sure.
You look at the penalties, right? The penalty to hit Josh Norman at that point when he can't make a play.
Richburg, you're talking about.
You're talking about Richburg. Richburg's
Yes.
to hit
Second
Josh
time in
Norman
the game.
at that time. That's why he's ejected, right? But then you also the Shane Vereen fumble there before the
That's
half.
right.
Yeah.
Now, luckily, Cousins
A little loose with it.
does something very Cousins-like and gets sacked and then calls timeout after halftime. Thought Les Miles was coaching the Redskins for a second. That's right. But that's another
They didn't
subject.
kick the field goal.
So in seeing that, Olivier Vernon going in, taking a shot at the head of Kirk Cousins and getting a 15-yard penalty, are you confident that that team fixes these things under McAdoo and finds a way to beat the Eagles, or are you going with the Eagles too? Have you turned on the New York Giants?
I'll tell you why I'm not going. Look, 3-0 versus 2-1. They came this close to having 2 wins in the division, being 3-0, but they're not. You know, you're starting the race now. You're staking them to a little lead. They're also among the best teams in football right now, the Eagles. I mean, let's be honest. That's what it is based on 3 games. You do that against the 2 worst teams in
Browns
the league.
and Bears
right.
before the
But then you
Steelers.
do that to the Steelers. I don't care how bad you say the Steelers
It was
were that day.
it was the most impressive of the 3 wins.
And they were winning on the line of scrimmage defensively against the Steelers' offensive line. I mean, they were very, very impressive. The only thing about the Eagles is they're a little thin. I don't see a lot of depth on that team. So week 3, it looks really good. Let's see how it looks week 13 by then. You look at the Giants, you have a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. He will throw picks in the fourth quarter. He'll also win you games in the fourth quarter. He's not scared, that's for sure. You probably got the best receiving trio in the league. When you look at, Odell and Shepard, and if Victor Cruz can stay healthy, there's no better 1, 2, 3 than that. I don't think in the NFL right now.
But I've repeatedly told you that offensive line and your
That's a
running
problem.
game is suspect.
That's a problem, although the Giants have devoted a lot of resources in recent years to the offensive line, first and second round picks, and O-line play is something that comes with time playing together. So Flowers, who's a talent but no technique yet, that actually can get better over the course of a year. I expect improvement there. It's a horse race in the NFC East. We knew it would be. But long-term prospects, I like the Giants to win the division still. At this moment in time, the Eagles are an elite team. I got to say what it is. I've seen 3 games. I have to say the Eagles at this moment. I don't know. I don't think it's going to last, but at this moment, they're an elite team.
This is not a power rankings discussion. We asked about the Eagles and the NFC East. I mean, this is not a weekly power rankings discussion.
I gave you my answer.
Once again, you're trying to change the narrative, being slick. What we talked about was the NFC East. We said nothing about the power rankings. Oh, this week. No, we said, NFC East. That's what we said. We said NFC East. Now, back to you. I'm very upset with you right now.
I thought we were talking about the NFC East.
I'm getting to you. I'm getting to you, okay? Because you should know better. You know more football than anybody else up in here. To sit up there with a straight face. Who's great Eagles? Great
Everyone
Eagles.
sounds alike to Stephen A.
Just gloss. No, I didn't sound like that. You were different. I'm going to sit up there and just gloss over that horrific performance. I mean, this is the kind of game where you should pick up the phone and call your boys, your former brethren. You pick up the phone. What the hell was up with y'all?
His fault.
How that happened?
Maybe he did.
I mean, come on. I'm not talking about losing. I'm talking about the way you lost.
chill.
I said today. Did I say yesterday? I said today. I said today.
It's gonna happen.
All right, so what you smiling
come
about?
do the show.
I'm just saying you don't need to be smiling like,
What's this, a Steelers?
Why
Is this a Pittsburgh Steelers support group?
I tell you what,
it should be.
Yesterday they take away my ring.
Wearing a black suit,
It was
too.
that
Yesterday they
bad.
take away my ring. They coming back. We good.
I believe they're coming back.
They're going to
but that doesn't
rebound.
go.
This might be the best thing that
They'll
happened
come
to
back.
them.
The Steelers will come back, but only
We
if you
2-1
hold them
like the
accountable.
Giants.
Only if you hold them accountable. You can't just
The
gloss
Giants
over
will
that
redeem
performance.
themselves, too.
They ain't bet. Listen, man, they made my man Mike Tomlin look bad. They made Mike Tomlin.
Peterson out-coached
I mean, that's how bad it was.
Mike T got to do
That's
his
how bad-
thing, too.
I understand that. I understand that
Peterson
wasn't a good day for him
out-coached him.
yesterday.
Fair to say,
that
right?
was not a good day. I said
Fair
that.
to say.
That was not a good day for Mike Tomlin
Tomlin's
yesterday.
my favorite,
let
too,
me
but he
tell
got
you,
out-coached.
That wasn't a good day. But when you see guys looking like they got their heart snatched out of their chest, wearing the black and gold, or the white and gold, yes, it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing. And I expect you, who's a former Steeler, to say that.
Well, here's the thing. This wasn't about the Steelers, not this segment. It was about the NFC.
Who did the Eagles play?
Hey,
Who did the Eagles play?
When Brian Burke emailed me, it said, what about the NFC East? Now what happened to the
Thank you
Steelers?
for staying
I want to talk
focused.
about
Listen
them.
to
Ryan,
producers
Did the Eagles
unlike
play
you two.
themselves? They played the Steelers,
to
didn't
clear
they?
up the
Is this thing
confusion.
on? Am I the only one hearing rap? Am I the only one?
I don't
Clear
know.
up the confusion. Good Eagles or bad Steelers?
It's good Eagles.
Good Eagles or bad Steelers? I didn't hear that.
It's good Eagles.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Just
you.
curious. Yeah,
And sometimes,
I don't give a
sometimes
damn.
when the other team is good, it makes you look bad. And that's what
I
happened.
don't never recall the team
People's
looking that bad
parents
when
on
you
my
were
left.
playing with them.
Hey, Molly,
That's what
go
that-
ahead,
All
Molly.
right.
Molly.
He knows I'm right. He
All
knows.
right, enough. So Philly started the preseason 100-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Now, after week 3, 20-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Vegas liking them too. Brian, you're sticking with us. Don't you worry.
Is
Not
he?
going anywhere. He is. After the break.